talk about funnels and lead magnets. So, disclaimer, I'm not going to show you exactly how to put one together just because there's various tools out there to use, and that could take all day. So I'm basically going to give you the definitions of what they are and kind of show you what those look like when you map them out. So what is a sales funnel? It could also be called a purchase funnel. So a sales funnel is a marketing term for the journey potential customers go through on the way to purchase. There are several steps to these, and it will kind of vary depending on what your goals are for it and what you want to get out of it. So there's usually a top, middle, and bottom of the funnel. And as I said, it kind of varies depending on what your goal is out of it. It could be, are you just building up your email marketing list? Do you have a sale that you want to put out, or do you just want to create value for your customers and put information out there that kind of help you stay on top of your, of being the trusted advisor for whatever it is that you do. So, and to kind of start the sales funnel process, you typically start with a lead magnet. So a lead magnet is, it could be a free asset, a special deal, or something in that effect that you do in exchange for contact details. For example, to go on your mail list or to call you or whatever it is. So that lead magnet can be anything from a discount code, a webinar, an ebook, a template, and typically, these are put into a Facebook ad. That's kind of how people come across this. And so basically, a sales funnel is a customer journey. So what exactly is a customer journey? In short, it could be called AIDA. So what does AIDA mean? It means awareness, interest, desire, and action. So when you have a sales funnel, you want as many people to come into it as possible by awareness, such as like a Facebook ad, could be a printed ad, it could be, it could be in person too. It doesn't have to just be Facebook ads, Google ads, or anything like that. So that's your potential. As they move down the funnel, it does get smaller and smaller. So if you have 100 people who sign up for your lead magnet, that doesn't mean all 100 of those are going to convert to a paying customer. It's just not how that works. So anyway, so awareness, the consumer becomes aware via advertising, as I mentioned, Facebook, some kind of call to action. It could be from your blog. It could be, like I said, from printed materials. The next step is the interest. So now you have them aware of what you have. How are you going to get them interested? Desire kind of goes hand in hand with interest. So how do you create the desire once they're interested in your product or service or whatever it is you're putting out there? You got to explain the benefits of why should I purchase this product? Why should I download this lead magnet? How is it going to benefit me? A lot of times you want to add value before you ask for a sale. So, it could be, 10 tips to, to better photography session or stuff like that. And, the sales process can go through emails and before they actually make an action. So, the last step is the action. When the customer purchases or fully signs up for whatever it is that you have. So I'll go through kind of understanding the customer journey or what the sales funnel is. So it typically starts with an ad, some form of call to action. They click on it, go to a landing page. So once you're at the landing page, it's where you get their interest, you get their desire, and obviously the goal is to convert them to whatever it is you're trying to convert them to, but give their names, emails. If they don't, then you typically will do a retargeting ad, and that's something that you can do through Facebook. And so I'm sure most of you have, seen an ad and you're like, oh, this is interesting. You click on it, but you might be way too busy to just sign up right now. So you're like, I'm going to come back later, and then you never do. Well, if you're successful at creating your funnel, you're going to create a retargeting ad. So if Jessica's busy delivering packages and she's like, well, crap, I'll look at this after I'm done delivering packages, and then she forgets, well, then tomorrow that retargeting ad might hit her. So now she goes back to it. But let's say someone does sign up for your lead magnet, and then, you might have further steps in your process that they don't fulfill. Now you have their email that you can nurture that lead, because at that point it's kind of a cold lead until you get them to fully sign up or whatever. Then it turns more into a warm lead. So you got to have something in place to capture those emails, such as MailChimp, something like that. So I'll also show a more dynamic view of what a funnel could look like. So again, you start with like a Facebook ad, Instagram ad, or it could even be a post. You have something that grabs their attention, whether it's a discount or some kind of ebook of some sort.
Before you go on,
yeah.
So can you tell examples besides Facebook and Instagram? Could that be a QR code
Right.
or a welcome? Or like a newspaper ad that has a link, I guess, or the website page to go to get the
QR code.
Yeah.
QR code.
Yeah, so, if someone's running an ad in the newspaper, for example, you could have a QR code. That could be a form of funnel. And using a QR code, you can track where that came from. Other examples could be like I have, these printed cards. If I'm running a Facebook ad, I usually have these two that I'm putting out, and they have a call to action, a sense of urgency. They have an expiration date. So that way when my Facebook ad ends, this is expired. A billboard could even be a form of a lead magnet too.
What's your call to action? What are you doing? So how do you, your printed deal, how do you know that customers come to you because of that direct mailer?
So this particular one doesn't have a QR code, but I typically do put QR codes on them. These were just handed out to a small group of people, but typically I would do a QR code if I'm doing a 75% off or...
Would you do like a discount code too? Like something that you could track on your side?
I typically don't do a discount code, but if you're like someone like Brittany or like Buffalo Key, I would create a coupon code.
Yeah.
You could create several different ones. So like, hey, these set of ads are going to go to this demographic. This set of ads are going to go to this demographic, and you can segment it that way too. But I typically don't do discount codes just because for me, the QR code is good enough because I'm going to know if they come from a Facebook ad or if they come from a QR code because I can track that. Now, if you're doing like a billboard, you typically can't really track those. Those are a little bit harder to...
People are putting QR codes on them now too.
Yeah.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh, you just want people to crash.
But so there's many forms to get people into a funnel. Before internet, we didn't have internet. You didn't have Facebook ads, so there were funnels. It just looked a little bit different. So did that answer that question?
Yes.
So whatever medium you use to get them with the lead magnet to your landing page doesn't really matter. So like I said, the goal is for them to move through the funnel and make a purchase. If they don't, and they don't put in their information, then that's where the retargeting ads for social media come into play. If they found it through social media. Or if you have a QR code and you send them to your landing page, if you have a Facebook pixel, which that's kind of a whole different topic, but a Facebook pixel is a tracking tool, kind of like Google Analytics. So you put that on there, even if they came to your landing page from this, now they've made it to your landing page, and Facebook can track that. Now they can be in your retargeting ads, and so you can retarget them that way.
So that's a cookie.
Pretty much, yeah. And it works the same as Google Analytics if you have that kind of stuff on your website. But if they do sign up, but they don't make a purchase, then you add them through your drip campaign, email sequences. If they do purchase, though, then they go to the ordering page. You can do, upsells, downsells, which is like if you're going to upsell for this package of whatever, but they don't want to purchase that, you can then do a lower offer. Then they go to the ordering complete, and then typically you don't stop there once they make their order. Keep them in your system so that way you can continue marketing to them in the future. If you have future sales or you create a new funnel in the future, you can send out an email and get them back into your funnel. So are there any other questions about this that's confusing? Brittany, you look confused.
It goes a little over my head.
Yeah.
Just because I haven't, I practiced organic, I guess, almost. If that makes sense. Like, I don't do a lot of paid ads. I don't have a lot of experience with the paid ads.
So they don't have to be paid ads either. You just get more reach that way.
Yeah.
At least on social media, it's harder to reach organically. So that's where Facebook ads come into play. Here's kind of a little bit more simple version of this. A squeeze page is basically a landing page. That's just another word for it. I pulled this off the internet to kind of just show another example. So this could be an example of like a sign up page. So let's say you just want to do a sign up page to your newsletter or whatever it is. You can still give a lead magnet. You still use a lead magnet to get them to sign up, because otherwise, unless I just absolutely love your product or I already know about your product, I probably am not going to sign up unless there's some kind of incentive for me to, or call to action. So when you sign up, you always send them to a thank you page. That can in itself be another funnel if you wanted it to. And then what you do is you put them in a sequence of emails, and you just email them. I always say don't ask, like give some value before you kind of ask for them to spend money with you. So for example, this email sequence could be once they sign up, it's like, hey, in 2 days or the next day you can send out a, hey, thanks for subscribing. Here's a little bit about our business if you don't already know who we are. Next week you can send out, hey, here's our product spotlights for the month. Check out our products. Every email can have a call to action. You can, invite them to purchase something on your website. You could have a little special discount if you wanted to. And you just kind of keep cycling through that, and then until you create another funnel. Are there any questions out there that
I don't
anybody
think
might
so.
have?
Nope, they say it looks good.
Perfect. Anybody else have questions?
Is this also in the order that you create each thing, do you think? Like if somebody was going to sit down and do the whole thing for, say, one particular service or product, what order do you suggest they go in? Is there one thing that's more important to do first than another?
So it's kind of like writing an essay. You've got to create an outline, which is basically what this is. You can make it as complicated as you want or as simple as you want. A lot of people would probably, whenever I lay mine out, I do something similar to this. So basically, I create the initial goal, like what am I going to do? What is my call to action going to be? Sometimes I'll run 75% off sales. Sometimes I'll run, and I'm going to show some examples of my landing pages and some other simple landing pages as well. But I'll either do like a 75% off session fee, and this one is kind of more of a basic, sales funnel. So they basically they see my work, they're like, oh, that looks creative, that looks cool, and then they go to my landing page and then they sign up to get more details. Then that pretty much, I guess that's not the end of the funnel, because then I still got to reach out.
And when you say sign up, you mean like you're trying to capture some contact information.
Yes.
Not necessarily getting them to buy right then and there. You're trying
Right.
to get contact.
For me and my business, it's better if I make a connection with them. For my line of work, you're not just gonna book me and have me do pictures if you don't know me.
Yeah.
So typically I like to connect with them on the phone over email and stuff like that. So when they sign up to hear more, which I'll show you here in a little bit, I kind of get their information so that way I can either call them or I can send them an email to have them schedule an appointment with me. You can go either way. Was there another question that someone had? Okay. All right, so let me show some examples. So I don't have examples of actual ads, so you'll just kind of have to be a little creative and envision that, but we'll use Brittany as an example. She could do, let's say her goal right now is to build up her email list. That's her primary goal. She doesn't have any sales, she doesn't have anything going on, but she wants to, build up her email list so that way when she does have sales or when she's doing, like a pop-up shop or whatever, she can get that out to as many people as possible. She could do this organically. She could do this with these. She could do paid ad. And the call to action is, sign up to receive a PDF of 5 tips to keep your jewelry clean. And so someone's like, hey, my jewelry's dirty. I need to get it clean. So they can sign up. Brittany can have a little PDF that once they sign up, they go to a thank you page. They get an email with that. Now Brittany can have an email sequence. So she could have, let's say she has 5 steps. So the first email could be, she could start sending out emails of each step.
Oh.
So yeah, you sent them the PDF, but they might just skim through it and then go on about their day. Now you just follow up email each tip. And then at the end, you can do a call to action and say, basically put a call to action of, hey, come to me and just let me clean your jewelry for you. So you're kind of giving them value, but then at the end of the day, it's like, do I really want to sit and clean my jewelry? No, I'll just go pay Brittany however much it costs. You could do the same thing with jewelry repair. Let's see. I was hoping Angela was going to be here, but this could kind of go for you as well. So a lot of, coaching people do a lot of, consultations. Their initial, coaching session is free. So you could put out call to actions of, for hers that, she kind of does various different coaching. So I just did an example of getting your life together, put out a funny ad or whatever, or post or anything like that. And then, they can sign up, put their information, and then basically you can send them a email for a calendar link so they can just book their appointment. And beauty of that is you can schedule however you want with your calendar program. And then again, can go through this process too and just kind of cycle through. Excuse me. There's another member that does wills. Wills can be complicated, and if you don't do them right, they're not going to work. So, someone like him could put out, a lead magnet of, here's the 5 tips to avoid when creating a will, and then you put in your information and they get that thing. You can do the same thing. Send out each email with call to actions with each email. And for Sarah, as we were kind of talking beforehand, because we didn't know if she was going to be able to stay, but one of the things I like that she does is the monthly classes to help new homeowners get prepared for buying a home, or even they might just feel insecure on, they might not be, or they might feel that they're not in the right place to buy their first home. but having something out there to have them sign up to receive information on either coming to a class or going back to that other email, sending out these sequences of how can I prepare to buy my first home. Where you could have a different email sequence of people who have already bought a home, but they're going through the process of buying another home or whatever. And just kind of created some a little more in depth, like this one would be a two-step process where they can sign up initially and then kind of put a little bit more information to kind of get tailored emails instead of just generic emails. So, for instance, they could be put in a sequence of like, hey, my credit score is between this group. So now, something like that, you can send out more detailed information for that targeted market. That could be kind of converted into, other business as well. You can create different questions to surveys, in a sense, to kind of create different journeys. If you, answer this option here, you're going to go through this email journey. If you answer this question, you're going to go through this email journey. You can make it really complicated, or you can just make it simple, depending on what you're going to do. So I'll kind of show kind of how I do my landing pages. So I build mine through my actual website. So there's tons of tools out there. I know some people are probably going to ask, what do I use to build a funnel system? At one time, ClickFunnels was the funnel builder tool, but it was expensive and complicated and not technically what I want to do for my funnels. But now there's you can build funnels through MailChimp. I'm using my website in conjunction with an email program called SendFox, and so I just kind of utilize that. But so, for instance, someone will see a Facebook ad. It might be 75% off, or it might be an Enter to Win photo shoot. I run those quite a bit during my slow times. So I'll put an ad out, and let's just pretend like this is the in-between sessions. So my in-between sessions are kids' portraits that I'm slowly starting to get off the ground. And so I needed to build up a portfolio, and I didn't have one. So I did something similar to this, and I put it out there, enter to win a free session. So they either see my printed ad with the QR code and go to it, or they see my Facebook ad and go to it. And then I can track that. How many came from the QR code? How many came from Facebook initially? And but anyway, so they go through it. They get aware of it through the ads. Now, how do I interest them? So I kind of have some copy. I kind of have some bulleted points on here's what you get. This kind of creates desire. Another thing that also creates a desire is it was, you had to sign up to win by a certain time. And then I kind of have like a portfolio showing what you could get, what's possible. And then here's all the information that they would fill out. So when I ran this, I made everybody a winner. When you run Enter to Win campaigns, you can do it however you want. You can make everybody a winner. You can make one person a winner. You can make 3 people a winner. However you want to do it. But for mine, I made everybody a winner. So they went into an email sequence. A few days later,
Talk about that some more, about how to set up the email sequences.
So it's kind of like the funnel. You kind of got to map it out. So what's the first email that's going to go out? Welcome email. What do you want it to say? You create that in MailChimp. And there's like customer journeys that you can create for those. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to visualize the first email, and then they don't respond. They don't do whatever you want them to do in the email, or they do. So each email has 2 things that could happen.
They can.
They either ignore it or they click on it, and then if they ignore it, then there's a way for the email program to know that, and then it sends out the next email.
So I'll come back to this. So let's say they signed up for the in-between session. So they sign up, they go to the thank you page. Now they're in the email campaigns. So 3 days later, for this instance, 3 days later, they got an email. Hey, congratulations, you won. Click here to schedule a quick 15-minute phone call with me.
Okay.
Now, if they schedule that, I can set up a condition in there that says, okay, they signed up on my calendar, remove them from that email sequence, and just add them to my general list. So now they won't receive all the other follow-up emails. But let's say they didn't sign up for it. They signed up for it to get their email in, but they didn't schedule a phone call. So then the next email was like, would be, hey, don't forget you won. You know, you can make it say whatever you want, but hey, you won this session. We don't want you to forget. Or I might do like, hey, here's 5 of our favorite images from last month or something like that. Or here's some of our favorite in-between photos, and I can do an email like that. And then at the bottom of that, I can do the call to action again. Hey, don't forget you won a free session. Click here to schedule your phone call. The next one, put another, tip or outfit guide or something, something to kind of keep them intrigued and make them want to sign up. And then again, at the bottom, you have a call to action. Click here to schedule a quick 15-minute phone call. And then there comes a point where if they don't respond, they either unsubscribe, they don't respond, and they fall off, or they sign up.
But they're still in your main list.
But they're still in your mailing list.
Unless they unsubscribe.
Unless they unsubscribe, or a lot of times if they don't respond, sometimes I just take them out and don't send anything else to them. Because I also don't want to be or feel like I'm spamming people either, so. Let's go back here. So anyway, so once they do sign up and give me their information, then they go to the thank you page. Always have a thank you page, especially if you're running Facebook ads, because when you have your Facebook pixel linked to your website or whatever you're using for a landing page, you can put that in there. You can do that for MailChimp, the other one that I'm using, WordPress, which I use for my website. So now Facebook can say, hey, they went through your customer journey, they fully signed up. Now we're not going to run that targeting ad to them. We're going to run it to the other people that didn't sign up. So this is why a thank you page is always important. So
somehow there's a different pixel on that page that indicates a purchase or the finish of that one.
So you have like the one, it's kind of like Google Analytics. Whenever you put that code on your website, then within Facebook, it knows.
Just by the one code.
Yeah, by the one code, you put it on every page. Or in the line of code of whatever website you're using that.
Because that code is reporting back to Facebook.
Right.
What page they're on, when, where, what device they're using, all that stuff. So,
Right.
But
So
do you
kinda
have to
base
tell
it in
Facebook somewhere what the thank you page is?
Yeah, so that's kind of set up when you're setting up your retargeting ad.
Got it.
You
Okay.
basically,
That's when you tell it which page is.
yeah, so you say, hey, whenever they reach this page, they've completed the journey. So, as Brittany was asking earlier about, she doesn't run Facebook ads very often. I also have a funnel within my website that is used not by a Facebook ad, not necessarily by a lead magnet, but just any of my service pages. So you go to my website, you look at, like, hey, let's look at his family pictures. So you scroll through here, it's set up just like a landing page. You create, they're aware of it by either searching for family portraits in Stillwater, Oklahoma, I've ranked myself pretty high on stuff like that. So that's kind of my awareness for those type of things. So they'll come to my page. Now I've got to get them interested. Kind of start out with the hero image, kind of some text or call to action text, some information, bullet points on like, what do you get when you book a session with me? What does that look like? And I always have call to actions all through my pages. So ready to book. Well, it takes you down to the contact form. But then, if it'll load. One of my biggest things is if I want someone to buy something from me or book me, I don't want to make it hard for them to get in contact with me. So I always, at the bottom of everything, I have a contact form, except for my main page when you go to my website. But there is a link to go to my contact page.
Try it again. It's working. Internet and your website on my phone.
Okay. Let's reconnect. Now, the only difference is whenever they're on here, I don't send them to a thank you page like this typically, but you could. So, let's see. There we go. Was it loading slow on yours? Okay. But yeah, like I said, on every page I put a, oh, that's not the one. What's my, well, so this is just regular portraits. Like I said, they're all still set up like a landing page. Kind of here's how you reserve your session, schedule a consultation. And then whenever you get down here, here it is. So let's see if I can go back to, but does that make sense to anybody? Does anybody have questions?
I like how on your website, if I go to your website, you're always trying to guide me to where you want me to go.
Mm-hmm.
I know so many other websites, it's like, I get sent to your website and maybe I clicked on, like it's a product. Like, okay, there's a shirt. Oh, I like that. Let me click on it. And then it just takes me to your website and then you maybe you sell a bunch of clothing. And I'm like, oh, great. I gotta
where
go
was I?
find the shirt myself. Why didn't you just take me to the shirt?
Yep.
Or, you know, because people don't want to, every website is unique nowadays and different, and people are super confused on how to find stuff.
Yeah.
And if you've got stuff buried in a menu, like you expect them to like just explore around, they're not.
The more complicated you make it, or it's not even the more complicated you make it, the more difficult you make it for the customer to go through your journey,
Yeah.
the quicker they're going to fall off.
Yeah.
So like, for instance, I try to make mine like clear and to the point. Like you got a hero image and then you got the text. The beauty of this is it's on my website. I have a template. So now if I'm going to run a 75% off sale, I already have that template. All I have to do is put new images on there, maybe change some of the copy. You know, you could do that for if you're going to do like certain products. Like let's say you're going to spotlight a certain product every month. You can create a template so that way it stays cohesive with your brand. And that way when you run it, now all you have to do, and I don't know if Shopify allows you to do something like that, but now you can just swap products out and it's already made. Your customer journey is already established. All you have to do is just reset it up and go with it. But like I said, I have kind of the call to action or just something that kind of draws attention. Like you mentioned, I just kind of make it streamlined. I like to tell people what you get, how you get it. You can put products. This is more geared for like service, so products are a little bit different in that aspect. But if you're doing a coaching business, you could do something similar. Like what do you get if you book a coaching call with me? Here's what you get. Here's what the free 30-minute session gets.
Yeah, and I like how you get right to the point. Like, I don't have to read a story about Josh Dean and how he started his photography business. Like, you can have that somewhere else on your website,
Yeah.
but don't.
Clutter.
Get right to the
It's
thing.
clutter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
I don't know if anybody's still there, but it's still on.
Just checking for questions.
But I was gonna create this for Beth, so thought of you, Beth, too. So there's times where there's people that have books that they give them away online sometimes, and
Make
it's
it big again for everyone who
oh.
showed up late that didn't see it.
So, like, for instance, Grant Cardone has done this for his book before. So, like, basically, Beth could put out this really cool dark murder mystery Facebook ad or something, you know, that gets people intrigued to click on her ad. Then they go to her landing page to get her free book. And it could be one where, like, they pay the shipping. And they go to your landing page and do that. Then they go to the order page to where they're just about to check out for their shipping. Then you could, this is a typical ClickFunnels setup. Then you would upsell them. So for example, you could be like, hey, check out our murder mystery games that we have. Buy the whole pack for $45. And it's like, no, I'm not cool. I don't want to buy the whole pack. Then you could do what you call a downsell. Then you can say, well, check out this hot selling game for only $4.99. They might buy it. They might not. If they don't, then it's like, boom, they go up to the order confirmation and pay for their shipping and get their free book in the mail. So that's kind of another example of how a funnel could work too. But they don't always have to stop at the ordering confirmation page. You obviously want to send out a welcome email and then continue nurturing them. Whether you're putting that in your MailChimp and sending out newsletters. So,
Yeah, so then that case, your ad would be, you know, want a free copy of this book? You
Yeah.
know, and then that's their.
Are you going to
reason
try
to
it,
click.
Beth? You
I
going
would love
to
to.
give out free copies of your book? Just pay $11.99 shipping.
yeah.
Oh, it's just a free book. Oh my gosh. Free instructions.
Free instructions.
But earlier though, before we started, Chris had made a point on, you know, when he's setting up ads for people and directing them to them. That's a form to get people into your funnel. But as he mentioned, it's like, what are you gonna do with that once we send it to you? Because if you create the ad and you don't have all of this mapped out, that's kind of the first thing you got to do. You got to figure out what it is that you're going to do. Are you running a special? Are you just wanting to build up your email following so that way you have people to send out stuff to? You kind of got to map that out, and I always map mine out similar to this on paper, really, and I just kind of map out what email is going to go out. I don't even put the copy of what's going to be in the email. I just want, like, okay, this is going to be the welcome email. Thanks for signing up. The next email is going to be like 5 tips to, you know, create the best senior portrait session, and then what call to action I'm going to have. And then once I start putting that together within like MailChimp or whatever program I'm going to use, then I start putting in the copy and the images and design or whatever I want to do. So.
That's what I struggle with the most is the planning ahead. Like, requires you to plan ahead a little bit, which is good, but that's why I haven't been able to like actually do a successful